Marijuana growing is big, very big business in Canada.
BC bud is the largest narcotic threat we have.
It's not just in British Columbia. There are now grow-ops all over the country.
Smells good.
Well, you think a bunch of harmless old hippies with green thumbs. But marijuana money has found a new and nasty crowd.
This is disheartening. This is just stupidity that this has to come into the picture.
Pot deals bring disturbing amounts of cocaine and guns to the table. And even the cops are confused about whom to bust.
Medical marijuana really complicates the environment for law enforcement.
Between the growers and the gangs, it's become one of Canada's largest economies. I'm Anne-Marie McDonald. This Doc Zone gets inside CannaBiz. Half of all Canadians say they've tried it. 4 million of us admit to more than the occasional toke. But even if you wouldn't be caught dead at Vancouver's annual smoke-in, marijuana deserves your attention. Like it or not, cannabis is one of our most valuable resources. It's bigger than prairie wheat, with larger exports than fishing, and more workers than mining and forestry combined. Illegal and unregulated, Canada's marijuana industry is worth a staggering $20 billion a year. From outdoor grow-ops on Crown land, to mortgage helpers in city basements, to industrial operations in abandoned factories, Canadians from coast to coast are discovering their green thumbs. Not long ago, marijuana was a safe and quiet cottage industry. Not anymore.
Police, search warrant, come to the door!
Today, the business has erupted in chaos. Huge profits are a magnet for organized crime, and rival street gangs battle over market share.
You've got like $500,000 rolling down the highway, you're packing heat.
In the last year, we've seen people shot to death over the marijuana trade.
"500 kilometers east of Vancouver, Grand Forks seems far removed from the world of gangland violence. Yet this idyllic border town lies in the heartland of Canada's marijuana industry.
Morning, guys. Hey.
Behind the facade of tidy homes on pleasant streets hides a secret economy. Police believe 1 house in 10 contains a grow-op. With a population of just 4,000, the area is thought to support some 300 commercial growers. It's early spring, and Taylor is planting his first crop deep in the woods on the edge of town. With lots of accessible Crown land, a mild climate, and neighbors who know the value of minding their own business, this is marijuana paradise. Taylor has no compunctions about getting into the business.
Not doing anything wrong here. Growing tomatoes as far as anyone else is concerned. There's a lot of pot growers here. It's a big business.
His strategy is to stay under the radar, scattering a few dozen plants in discrete clusters. But if he's lucky enough to have a bumper crop, his modest grow-op could bring him $50,000 in the fall. Then there's Brian McAndrew. He's been growing weed for nearly 35 years.
This is where it happens. The budding.
A graphic artist by trade, his commercial work has been hit hard by the recession. Brian and his girlfriend Tammy top up the household income growing a strain of marijuana called Shady Lady.
Well, with our system here, with these 25 plants, the way they're grown, we should be getting 6 to 8 pounds. Your gross wages off this, you're getting between $12,000 and $15,000.
The office?
Yes.
Even the president of the Chamber of Commerce grows the stuff. Brian Taylor is one of the founders of BC's Marijuana Party.
This is diesel. It's a very aromatic pot.
A cancer survivor, he grows for medicinal purposes, legally. Brian is one of just 2,000 Canadians licensed by Health Canada to produce medical marijuana.
This is going to a patient in New Brunswick. I ship it to him when it's processed and ready by Canada Post. Signature required.
And the good folks of Grand Forks take it all in stride.
All right, I'm Greg.
I'm Les.
We're from whatsupgf.com. We're here talking to people on the street today about a sticky subject called marijuana.
I work in a coffee shop, so I mean, if people were smoking a lot of marijuana, then they'd want to come in and buy our muffins and stuff.
Marijuana is a medicine, and it makes a lot of people feel very good.
First of all, I don't like the smell of it. Secondly, I don't want it around.
For me, it's absolutely disgusting.
It's a way of life here.
Whatever their point of view, few dispute that the local economy is hooked on marijuana.
In a town like Grand Forks, you're probably looking at between 20 and 40% of the money in the local community coming from marijuana. It's not put in the bank, because that's how they catch you. It's spent as fast as you make it.
It wasn't always this way. Like so many other lumber towns in the BC interior, Grand Forks fell on hard times when the mills closed. So in a time-honored tradition, a different kind of seedling was planted.
In times of economic crisis, people always revert to marijuana growing because it's fast and immediate. What did you do for it? You put seeds in shit and added water, and you waited 4 months. And then they take that product and they go and burn it. They go and burn it so that they need to come back 4 months later and buy more.
BC Bud is the world's most potent marijuana, a hybrid of 2 different strains, indica and sativa. The plants are grown to produce bud with over 20% THC, the chemical that gets you high.
If you put a lot of energy into these, then you can get up to $1,000 per plant.
But outdoor growing is a risky business, with bugs, weather, thieves, and cops a constant threat. 85% of Canadian marijuana is grown indoors.
Okay, right this way. And watch your steps through the stairway here, it's narrow.
The marijuana industry has been transformed by a revolution in technology. Dave has invested in the most advanced, user-friendly system on the market. A $3,000 kit that can transform any spare bedroom into a cannabis factory.
It's a high-pressure spray. It's spraying onto the root system, very fine mist, and it allows the roots to get as much oxygen as possible mixed in with their food and nutrients as well, and it creates phenomenal growth. This is the leading edge, pretty much.
For 20 minutes of work each day, Dave's discreet little operation can bring in $100,000 a year. Small wonder that some 20,000 British Columbians now grow marijuana. Out of sight, off the books, they generate close to 5% of the provincial GDP. And it's in BC that the roots of Canada's marijuana industry can be found. Back in the 60s, the Kootenays were fertile ground for the hippies and draft dodgers who first started growing BC bud. Doukhobors from Russia were already growing hemp, a different strain of cannabis that doesn't get you high. These pacifist farmers used hemp for making fabric, rope, and oil. Their culture resonated with the marijuana pioneers. Brian Taylor became an activist for marijuana in the 1980s. When he came to town 10 years later, he found a community sympathetic to his cause.